Guys, welcome back to Code with Chuck. Today we're going to take our Kraken that we've been working on, our AI monster, and we're going to give him a health bar and a death animation. So he does something different when he dies and he falls to the ground and then he disappears after a set amount of time. So let's get started. So the first thing we need to do is to make the health bar, we have to create what's called a widget. A widget is pretty much anything that displays to the screen. So first we're going to right click and create under the user interface menu a widget blueprint. Select user widget, and then I'm going to call this health bar widget. Okay, let's go ahead and open this up. And on the left, we're going to select progress bar and drag that into the screen. This progress bar is our health bar, and it's going to display differently depending on what percent we give it. So on the top right here, if we change the percent from 0 to 0.8, it now shows 80% of the bar full, just as an example. We should be all set with this now though. So now let's get into our Kraken AI blueprint. First, let's do a little bit of cleanup here. Some comments. This is just stuff we should have cleaned up in the last video, but can't be perfect all the time. Okay, perfect. So going to our Kraken here, we're going to hit add and we're going to search for a widget. And we're going to move this widget up above the Kraken's head. And let's name this widget health bar. And let's make its draw size. Let's keep 500 wide and maybe 40 tall. This is going to be the size that the widget's going to display as. Widget class, and we're going to search for our health bar widget. All right, great. So now we can see in our preview that there's a health bar above, and now we see the health bar above the Kraken. Now one thing that doesn't work with this is if I can get away from him, which is hard because he's chasing me. See, when we come to the side, we can't see the health bar straight on. So we're going to have to go ahead and fix that. So the first thing we're going to do is go into the event graph, and we're going to create a new custom event, and we're going to call this update health bar. So the first thing we're going to do with this custom event is we're going to rotate the bar. So we're going to get the actor location. Since we're in the Kraken actor, or the Kraken blueprint, that's going to be the location of the Kraken. And then we're going to get the player character, and we're going to get its location as well. What we're going to do is we're going to compare these two things to figure out a rotation between them where our widget should be displayed. So we're going to use the find look at rotation node and plug in the Kraken location as the start and the player location as the finish. All right, and then what we're going to do is drag in the health bar, and we're going to set world location, or rotation actually. Okay, great. And we'll plug in the rotation. Perfect. So up under our tick event, I'm going to add update health bar. Perfect. Okay, so now as we rotate around, that health bar should continue to face us no matter what angle we're at. And it looks like it's doing that because even as the monster rotated about 180 degrees there, it still appeared the same. Okay, great. So now that's displaying okay. Now what we need to do is have some sort of health system to to display on the health bar. So what we can do is create two variables under our monster, and one is called health, and it's going to be an integer. And we can create another one called max health. To set max health as 100, and set health as 100 as well, since our monster will probably start with full health. So what we need to do is find a percent value between 0 and 1 to feed our progress bar. So we're going to take the health value, we're going to get health, and we're going to divide that by the max health. And this should give us a number between 0 and 1. However, we don't want an integer output, so if we right click on that and change it to a float double precision, we'll be better off. So the next thing we're going to do is get the health bar, and we're going to do get widget. From there, we're going to cast to the health bar widget. And then we're going to set, actually we're going to get the progress bar, and we're going to set the percent. Okay, let's straighten this all out. And we're going to take our division over here and use that as the percent we're going to set it with. Okay, let's go ahead and comment all this to clean it up. Call it update health bar. Okay, so that's good, except we have no way to alter the health of the monster right now. In your game, that something like shooting magical spells at it, or shooting a gun, or something of that nature. Since this isn't a tutorial on how to make a gun and projectiles and all those things, we're going to have to do something a little simpler. I'm going to go into the player character, so under the third person folder, blueprints, third person character. I'm just going to, for simplicity purposes, add a input for the enter key. And when it's pressed, we're going to get actor of class. Since we only have the one Kraken, we can just get a single actor. And then from there, we're going to cast to Kraken. And we're going to get health. Oh, sorry, that was the wrong one. Okay, and then the next thing we're going to do is we're going to subtract some amount of health every time we hit the enter key. And for simplicity again, I'm just going to do 10. So we should have to hit the enter key 10 times in order to kill this monster. So then after we hit it 10 times, we actually need to set the health each time that we hit that to our new value. Okay, perfect. So now every time we hit enter, we're going to decrease the health of our Kraken by 10. Okay, so if we go and hit play, there's our monster, and let me hit enter, and we can see that the health bar is going down until it goes all the way. That's good, but now we need to kill our monster. So let's create another custom event. And let's call this check health. Or, yeah, check health. So under check health, we're going to continuously check the health of our monster to see if it is equal to or below 0. So we're going to get the health and see if it's equal to or below 0, and use a branch node. Okay. And then we're going to create another Boolean variable called isDead. And the reason we want to create this variable is so then we can check it in other places and stop different functions if the monster is dead. So we want to set the isDead variable if this is true. Now is probably a good time to go back into some of our other functions and add checks for this. So example, under the roam one, we check if it's already roaming, if it's attacking, but we should probably also check if it's dead, because if it is, we don't want to roam. What will happen is, after we play the death animation, the monster will be on the ground, but if it tries to continue roaming, that still dead monster will start moving around the floor. So let's add a branch and check the isDead. And then if dead is false, then we're going to continue. Okay, and then down here under update pawn chase, add another branch. Again, for the isDead if it's false, and clean this up a little bit. Okay. Okay, so once we set isDead, and make sure you check this to set isDead is true, then we're going to play an animation, but we're going to do that in a different area. After that animation plays, we probably want to wait a certain amount of time and then destroy the monster. So I'm going to add a delay. I'm going to set it to 10 seconds. And then I'm going to do destroy actor, and it's referencing itself, so it should destroy this actor, the Kraken. And then we're going to comment it. Okay. So we need to use the same thing we used up here. Get AI controller and then stop the movement, just in case he's currently in a movement. So we'll go ahead and paste those in. Let's give ourselves a little bit more room here. And then we need to call the check health function. From our tick event, this will allow it to continuously cycle and update. So let's go ahead and hit play, and after hitting enter 10 times, the health has gone down. Now he should no longer move until he disappears after a 10-second delay. And there you go. Okay, great. So now we need to do the death animation. And what we're going to do is go back to the Kraken folder and we'll do the Kraken AVP. This is where we set the speed related to the blend space before. And what we're going to do is we're going to add a node. It's called blend pose by Boolean. And we're going to slide that in between the blend space and the default slot. And we're going to connect the blend space to the false pose and then connect the output. So what this is doing is basically if isDead is false, then it's going to allow this to continue. But we're going to bring in the death animation from the right here and use that if it's true. Now, in this animation blueprint, we don't have an isDead variable yet. So let's go ahead and add one. And let's use that for this node to decide whether it's true or false. Now the other thing is we need a way to set the variable in the animation blueprint from the Kraken blueprint. So what we're going to do is over here where we got the speed and we set it consistently, we're going to go ahead and we're going to get is dead. And then from that, we're going to set is dead in our animation blueprint. Okay. So now this is consistently updating. It should update the animations is dead variable with the Kraken's is dead. And then based on that, if the Kraken is dead, it's true, then it'll play this death animation as opposed to the other ones. And actually, it may be a better idea to move this after the default slot. Right now, we use the default slot to play attack animations, and we probably we don't want an attack to override death. We want the death to be the only thing that happens if it is dead. So that's probably a little better that way. All right, let's go ahead and try it and see what happens. Okay, so I'm hitting enter. And he plays his death animation. We should have a delay, and then he should disappear. There we go. Just to do that again, because I don't think he had time to move around at all in that one. I'm going to actually wait till he walks before I kill him, and then I'll let him walk again. And I killed him during the walk. He plays his death animation and he stopped moving. He's down on the ground. And then after a few seconds, he should disappear. Awesome. Well, that's been Code with Chuck, and thanks for joining me. I hope to see you on the next one.